Hi friends, this is DVR again. We are discussing electrostatics from the angle of electrical field. Before I proceed to show you some equation or derivative part of some components or some concepts, there is a little bit theoretical explanation I need to provide. So the first part of this discussion on electrical field is basically a theoretical understanding, then we will go for a derivative part. So to know further about electrical field, let me define two fundamental things. One is called electric dipole. We use the word electric dipole. What is meant by an electrical dipole? You take 2 point charges. One is positive and the other is negative. So you are taking a pair of equal and opposite point charges which are separated by a small distance, let us say. So two equal and opposite point charges separated by a small distance is what is being defined as electric dipole. Now I will come to the details of electric dipole a little bit later. Just first of all understand the basic definition I am talking about. So that is what basically an electrical dipole. Electrical dipole is nothing but a pair of equal and opposite point charges separated by a small distance. The other thing we are going to focus now is dipole moment. Another word we use in electrostatics under electric field is what is known as dipole moment. What is dipole moment? Basically, just now I defined, I tried to make you understand what is an electric dipole. So how do you measure the strength of a dipole? So the measure of strength of a dipole, you can call it as dipole moment, right? It is vector P denoted by. So dipole moment is nothing but measure of strength of a dipole, right? It's a vector quantity. Its magnitude is nothing but a product. The magnitude of dipole moment is nothing but you are having two charges in a dipole. So you take the magnitude of either of these charges q and the distance between them. Distances between them is taken as 2a. Why it is taken as 2a is not under your discussion. So the distance between the distance of separation between two poles is taken as 2a and charge of one of them is q. So the multiplied product of q into this 2a, that is q into 2a, that product is what is basically defined as dipole moment. So I will come back to the derivation again. As I said earlier, I will come back to both dipole and dipole moment in terms of equation a little bit later. Just I am trying to give you the basic understanding of what is dipole and what is dipole moment. And another thing we will try to understand is something called dipole field. So when you keep a dipole, the electrostatic field that is created, that is the space around the dipole where the electric effect of a dipole can be experienced by any other charge brought nearby, is what is known as dipole field. It is as similar to as an electric field. Suppose in an electric field you are keeping a source charge, the source charge is trying to modify the surroundings, surrounding area. So within the region or space or a sphere, if you try to bring a test charge, the test charge is getting experienced some either force of attraction or force of repulsion. Therefore the area surrounding the source charge, what you termed as electrostatic field. Similarly, here in dipole field also, if the area around the dipole, the space around the dipole, where the electric effect of the dipole can be felt by any other charge brought nearby, is what is termed as dipole field. So I just wanted you to know briefly about these three terms. One is called dipole, dipole moment and dipole field. Why we have to know? That is what I am trying to explain now. What is the significance of knowing this? Why should we know? The reason for knowing dipole moment and dipole field is to understand the electrical phenomena of matter. To understand the electrical phenomena of matter, material, either in solid or liquid or any other form, to understand the electrical properties of matter, the understanding of a dipole is very much essential. So that's why we have to understand about dipole. We know that normally matter consists of smaller particles, what we call them as atoms or molecules. Both of them, both atoms as well as molecules, we also know that they are electrically neutral. For example, molecule, what it comprises of? A negatively charged, positively charged nuclei it will have, because it has protons and neutrons inside. So the nucleus itself is positively charged and it is surrounded by negatively charged electrons revolving around it. So this is what we know. Now what we have to know from a dipole angle here is, this even the nucleus completely being positively charged and the surrounding electrons, each of them have got their own center of mass. So these centers of mass if you take, so if the center of mass of the nuclei, that is the positively charged nuclei, coincide with the center of mass of negative charges, so interestingly the molecules automatically coincide. The moment they coincide, the molecule becomes a non-polar molecule. Means in the molecule, the center of mass of the positively charged nucleus and the center of mass of the negatively charged electrons either incidentally or coincidentally or accidentally coincide with each other, then automatically the molecule behaves as a non-polar molecule, remember. On the contrary, if the centers of mass of both the nuclei as well as that of electrons negatively charged, if they coincide, then automatically the molecule behaves as a polar molecule. There are two things you have to understand. I am again repeating. If the center of the mass of the positive charges coincide with the center of the mass of the negative charges, the molecule behaves as a non-polar molecule. Though molecule as a whole is a neutral thing. On the contrary, if the centers of mass of both positively charged nucleus and negatively charged electron does not coincide, the molecule behaves as a polar molecule. That means it possesses some intrinsic permanent dipole moment inside. Polar, the moment I use the word polar means it will have dipole moment. So in that situation, if you take a polar molecule where the centers of mass do not coincide, in the absence of an external electric field, each molecule has got a different dipole moment. So the dipole moments of different molecules in a piece of matter if you take, they are all randomly oriented. If they are not subjected to any external field, the molecules are randomly oriented because the dipole moment of them, each will have its own different type of dipole moment. So make them align differently. That means their orientation is at random. So therefore, one dipole moment of one molecule can cancel the dipole moment of other molecule, like that. So the net dipole moment of the whole matter taken as a piece of matter is 0. Now in that context, when there is no external field, suppose for a polar molecule, if you try to subject it to an additional external electric field, these polar molecules, they tend to align themselves along the field. When there was no external field, these polar molecules, each molecule having its own different type of dipole moment, align themselves in different directions. That is what I mean by saying random orientation. So therefore, net dipole moment, if you take the whole matter, sigma becomes 0. On the contrary, if you subject this polar molecule to an external electric field, automatically this random orientation goes out. All these molecules orient themselves along the direction of the applied field. That means there exists, the net dipole moment in this case cannot become 0. That means there exists some net dipole moment, develops on the piece of matter. Then we say that the matter or the piece of matter you have taken is polarized or matter has been polarized. That is the context in which we use the word matter has been polarized. This is in the case of a polar molecule. Suppose if you take a non-polar molecules. Now if you subject a non-polar molecule, so you take non-polar molecule for example. What is non-polar molecule? The centers of mass of both nuclei and that of electrons coincides. Then it becomes non-polar. When you keep such non-polar molecule under the action of an external electric field, the centers of mass of both positive and negative charges in the molecule get displaced in opposite direction. They are already in non-polar stage. In that stage, if you subject a non-polar molecule to the external applied electric field, what happens immediately is these centers of masses of both positive and negative charges get displaced. That means they try something like a repulsive action. They try to get displaced in opposite direction. Let us see what happens then. Now the moment you say that they got displaced, what does it mean? This external field might have induced some dipole moment in the molecule in the direction of the field, and that is the reason why they got displaced even though they are non-polar. Polar it is understandable, but even non-polar also, whenever a non-polar molecule is subjected to an external electric field applied, immediately the centers of masses of both positive charges in the center of the nucleus and the surrounding negative charges surrounding the nucleus, they both get displaced in opposite direction. That means thus the external electric field is inducing some dipole moment on the molecule in the direction of the field. Now this induced dipole moment need not be constant for all the molecules. Suppose there are n number of molecules subjected to this. Each molecule will have its own net dipole moment. So therefore, the induced dipole moment of various molecules or different molecules in the matter or the sample you have taken, you can add them vectorially. One dipole moment has got, let us say P1, another one has got P2, third one has a P. I told you the notation of a dipole moment is vector P. So there are n number of molecules. One is having P1, P2, P3, etc. Pn. Then you take the vector sum sigma. P1 plus P2 plus P3, etc. vector Pn is the total or net dipole moment you take. So the induced dipole moments of different molecules in this given sample, you have to add them vertically, vectorially, to produce some net dipole moment. So this is what you have to understand. I just would like to summarize briefly. So I have already explained you what is a dipole, which is a pair of equal and opposite charges separated by a distance. Now dipole moment, because of this surrounding area gets affected. Any object brought nearby will have an experience on that. So therefore it will have a dipole field. Because of this field, the charge q and the distance of separation, product of that is what is called as dipole moment. Now this dipole moment understanding is very much essential to understand the electrical behavior of the different types of matters, whether it is solid or a liquid or a gas. To understand that, we try to divide the bodies into polar and non-polar environments. Wherein I said, in a matter most of the time it will have either atom or molecules. In the molecule also, at the center you will have positively charged nuclei surrounded by negative charges. So whenever the center of mass or the central nuclei and that of the surrounding electrons coincide with each other, then automatically we say the molecule is non-polarized. The moment they coincide, it is polarized. So when you bring a charge nearby a polarized molecule, it gets affected anyway. When normally in normal situation there is no repulsion. So the charges gets cancelled, the net dipole moment is anyway 0. But when you subject it to an external field, it will show some dipole moment. Even the non-polar molecule also, excuse me, even the non-polar molecule also, when you subject it to an external electric field, these centers of masses which are coinciding earlier get displaced in opposite direction. That means this particular activity has induced some net dipole moment in that molecule. Different molecules will have different dipole moments in the matter. So, the induced dipole moments of different molecules of a matter are to be added one to the other vectorially. That means, being vectors, you have to add both magnitude and direction. So, it is a vector addition. So, by doing vector addition, we can calculate the net dipole moment of the total matter. So, with this background, we shall proceed further to understand from the definitions of dipole moment and dipole field, we will find the equations and then elaborate on to the other parts of the discussion. So, that is the next agenda, right.